All right, guys, welcome to the Slouch. Now, the Soleus Slouch is kind of a weird exercise that I guarantee you haven't done before. It's gonna kind of look almost like you're auditioning for The Walking Dead and acting like a zombie and just kind of hanging out. But it's an amazing exercise that does a lot of awesome things for us. But the biggest focus is it's going to be strengthening the calf and the soleus isometrically, which is what we need for when we do stuff like running and jumping, is we need a strong soleus and calf to hold their ground. And basically what I want you to think is a lot of people don't have that isometric strength. So when their foot hits the ground, they tend to sink, and that is what we don't want to see when we run and jump. So the slouch is basically a toe touch. So everyone knows what it's like to touch your toes. You round your back and you touch your toes. That's the basic gist of the slouch, but we're going to be doing it on one leg, and we're going to have our heel off the ground, so we really challenge that. Now, during this exercise, you're going to try to cheat because number one, it's going to burn a lot. You're probably going to shake, and it's easy to run away from this. What I mean by that is when you're doing the exercise, it's hard to do. In fact, 5 reps done well it's pretty challenging. So your body doesn't want to load these areas, so it's going to try to run away. One of the ways it's going to run away, during this exercise, we're going to have our knee over our toe, or basically towards our toe. One of the ways you're going to cheat is you're going to bring your knee back, or when you go from touching the ground to back up, is you're going to perform a back extension instead of a foot push. So this is the slouch. It should feel like you're doing an isometric calf or soleus exercise, and you should be getting a massive hit on the glute. The glute is going to be getting a big stretch. So we're going to try to use the soleus and calf and the glute to get back up, not the low back. So if you feel like you're arching your low back to get back up, that's not what we're intending to do. So there's a lot of devil in the details in this exercise, and when you first do it, it's awkward. You might mess up, and you're probably going to cheat. As you practice this and get better, once you find it, and once you figure out that sweet spot, you're going to be amazed how awesome of an exercise this is, especially if you've got foot issues, Achilles issues, shin splints. Even if you have knee issues, this is amazing. So what I like to do is I'm going to show you guys lots of different angles. I like to put my feet together, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to get loaded onto one leg, because we want all of our body weight basically on one leg to really bias. So I'm going to perform what looks like a squat, but instead of squatting with my hips, I'm going to be squatting by driving my knees forward until I get a stretch or get stuck in my calves and Achilles. So what this is doing is this is our starting angle. So notice the nice bend in my knee and how my knee's basically over my toe. Your knee during this exercise will sneak back a little bit, but we don't want to see your knee flex back over your heel. That's a sign you're trying to cheat, or you're trying to use your quad. Remember, we're trying to use our calf and soleus and glute. The quad's going to get hit, but I don't want the quad moving. Your knee is going to stay still during this entire exercise. So once we get started, try to keep your knee still, not backwards. So feet together. Let's do that kind of awkward calf squat. It's not right. Then what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to create a kickstand. So I'm going to shoot one of my toes back, and all that is a kickstand. I'm not putting any weight on this back leg. In fact, what I want you to do to check is once you are here and you kick your toe back, go and lift it off the ground, and that should be where you're able to balance. If I am here and I can't lift that back leg, it's because I'm trying to actually load it. So we just want a kickstand. Now, when you let go to do your kickstand check, so when I'm here, I kickstand, and then I do my check to see I'm loaded, you're going to feel a good contraction at the foot and soleus, and that's what I want you to feel during the whole exercise. Now, once we're set up there, we're going to lift the heel just high enough to slip a pen underneath. So we don't want heel high, we want heel low and just hovering off the ground. The heel's not going to get any higher, so we're not going to go into high heel. We're going to float it just high enough for a pen to be underneath. So the heel is not going to move, neither is the knee. We're just going to round and touch our toes as we do that. I know there's a lot of explanations. I promise this exercise is worth it, but if you don't follow the details, you can miss the exercise. And then you'll be like, why the heck are we doing this exercise? So, feet together, stretch those calves, and then go ahead and set up your kickstand. Okay, do your check. Are you loaded onto this leg? You should feel a lot of soleus action already. Boom. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my knee still. You should feel almost like you're going to face plant. That's why the foot, calf are working really hard, and the glute. Now I'm going to relax my upper body. Relax. And then I'm going to try to touch the ground right by my toe. So I'm going to relax my neck. I'm going to round my upper shoulders, and I'm going to slowly start to touch the ground without my knee moving. And boom. And then on the way back up, here's how people cheat. On the way back up, people are going to arch their back and do a back extension to get back up. Remember, we're not doing a back extension on the way back up. We are doing a foot push, and we're going to keep that nice rounded, like, kind of looks like a zombie. So I want you to keep your back rounded and relaxed. There should be no tension from your hips to your neck. Completely relaxed. The only way we're getting out of this is by pushing through our midfoot. So I want you to think almost like you've got an orange under the middle of your foot, and then you should feel your glute and quad doing some overtime work, especially the glute. Okay, I promise we'll get to the exercise, but it just takes a little bit of time. I found if I sequence this, you're going to learn it right away. If I just say touch the ground, you're going to mess up and miss the exercise. So we set up, bend the knees forward, go ahead and do your floating heel and kickstand. Floating heel, kickstand, double check, I'm loaded. Okay? Relax your neck. That's the first step. Your knee is not going to move. Your heel's not going to move. They're not going anywhere. Round your upper shoulders as you go down. A lot of people, as they go down, their knees are going to head towards their heels. Don't let that be you. Relax and round down to the ground. Hands touch the ground. On the way back up, you're going to push through your midfoot. You're going to keep your upper body relaxed and round, and we head back up. Keep the heel low. Shaking is normal and natural. And I'm not going to extend my spine. Notice I'm still rounded and relaxed. I've got my low back round, and I've got that heel and knee at relatively the same spot. Now, remember, lots of people are going to go here, and they're going to straighten and push back that knee. That's tempting. So as you're going down and up, don't perform a leg extension. Don't perform a leg extension. Now, your knee will move back a little bit in space, or else you'll actually face plant. But the stronger you get, the better you get. The more you're going to have that knee directly over your toes position, or as far as you can. So now, after all that talking, I'm going to demonstrate 5 reps. Go slow. The quicker you go, the more you're going to cheat. And if you do this right, 5 reps should be devastating. Getting a burn, a shake in the calf and quad, and the glute is getting on fire. Remember, no tension from your hips up. Relax your upper body, round it, no extension. So if you're arching your back, you're cheating. So 5 reps of your Soleus slouch. Boom. Heels up. Double check. Okay, relax. Slow. Knees forward. Don't move the knee, don't move the heel. Push through the foot, relax the upper body. Don't lock out at the top. Relax, round back down. Few reps. Now, if you feel like you need to reset every rep, that's totally fine. And what we're going to find is we're going to do a lot of different variations on this. So we might do the standard Soleus slouch, which is here. We also might do one where we go and have you reach in. So same thing here. Have you reach in. We might have one over your feet at a slight angle. So we might put a kettlebell or a slant board, and we might have your foot at a different angle. through inversion, eversion. But that, in a nutshell, is going to be your Soleus slouch. Now, I find that once I get used to what we're trying to do, grabbing a weight is going to be amazing. In fact, I find it makes the exercise better because you're going to feel it so much more. So as you get comfortable with the bodyweight version, and you're not cheating, so as long as you're not extending your knee, lifting your heel, or arching your back to get back up, and you're kind of going through that lazy toe touch. And the reason why we keep our back round is so we can extend our hip and not our spine, so really work on hip extension in the glute. Add a weight. Grab 20 pounds, grab 30 pounds. Don't get so heavy that you start to turn into cheat, but once you feel comfortable with the bodyweight version, we're gonna load these up. We're gonna do a ton of different variations with the reaching different ways, but the slouch, once again, is really for the calf and soleus. You're gonna get a big stretch and burn out of the glutes, and the knee is getting worked like crazy. The knee isn't an isometric, so your quad should be burning, but the knee is not moving. The knee's not moving, the quads are burning, and that is a long-winded explanation of one of my favorite exercises that's a little bit out there, but it has so many benefits for foot issues, Achilles issues, knee issues, even back issues. It's one of my favorites we're gonna use a lot, and it's the Soleus slouch, and that's how we get started.